Holllla! This is Preach with TGN.TV and we are YouTube! This is the Disc Priest Day. Let's throw out some big cooldowns. Oh yeah, woohoo! Priesty Day! Disc Priest Day, you guys have been asking me for this one for a little while, and it's time. It's finally here, guys. So I hope you enjoy this one. We're going to go through the usual. We're going to be doing talents. We're going to do Reforging. We're going to do a full heroic run, and we're going to do what you should be gemming and what spells you should be casting to be an absolute baller and throw out Brofist left, right, and centre. Absolutely. Any questions about my UI? Please check my channel. There is a UI video on there. And for those of you who joined us for the live web show this weekend, mwah, a huge kiss out to you guys. That was absolutely amazing. I had a great weekend. Really enjoyed it. Let's jump into it. Who are we looking at? We are looking at Preaches. Preaches, the Discipline Priest for today. He is our little goblin friend, and we are absolutely going to have some fun in him. His item level 348. Nothing spectacular there, is the guys. 348 is blues. That is right. It's our heroic blues. Any of you guys who've bought a couple of items or even ran a few heroics will be more than happy to be equal to this guy. He's all blue all the way down, except for he's got 2 epics, I think. That's all. Yeah, Guardians of Hyjal Exalted and the Trinket. Boom, that's it. Absolute garbage gear, guys, in comparison to what you ballers know you've got. So, Reforging, first of all. We always say when we cap in the early days, if you just hit level 85, don't bother enchanting and gemming your gear too much. Think about your Reforging first. Reforging is actually going to get you on the right track, and it's not going to cost you a lot of gold, especially if you've got some blues and greens on you. It's not going to cost you a lot of gold at all. So what are we Reforging today? Of course, we want, what items are we after first? We want some cloth spirit gear. We want spirit on our gear to regen our mana. Our spirit is going to give us mana back. Yum, 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 yum. We like more manas, and that's going to come naturally from our spirit. We're not going to gem spirit because gemming spirit is bad. Bad news. Don't want to do it, guys. Leave that spirit at home. You got a spirit gem in your pocket, throw it away and say, spirit gem, be gone, my friend. We don't want you up in Preacher's house. Preacher said no, you're out the door. Easy. What is our worst stat? That's always the easiest way to start with the Reforging, I've found. What is the worst stat? If we've got an item with a few stats on it, what's the worst one, Preach? What's the one that I instantly look at and I think, bye-bye, my friend. Today, that's going to be crit. Our Discipline Priests do not need crit. We like yummy haste and yummy mastery. What is our mastery? Following the guidance I always set for you. If you want to know how to play your class initially, read your spells. Your spells will tell you all about your class and what you should be casting. Our mastery is Shield Discipline. And instantly, anybody who's played a Disc Priest before will be instantly thinking, yeah, boy, we're going to be spamming no shields left, right, centre. No, you're not. You're not going to be doing that, but still, our mastery is Shield Discipline, which buffs our shields. Increase the potency of all your damage absorption effects. That doesn't necessarily just mean power word shield. All damage absorption spells by 25%. Each point of mastery increases the potency or absorbs by an additional 2.5%. So we are buffing our absorption effects, our shields. They're going to get buffed. I'm not going to keep using the word shield for our absorption effects because it relates nicely to it. But it's all absorption effects. When I say shields, I don't just mean power word shield, my friends. I don't. What else do we want? We want some good haste. Haste up to about 2,000, okay? Haste around 2,000 is going to nicely soft cap you for those things like renew and all that good jazz. We want to get that sort of soft cap, okay? If we need to throw that, get that haste soft cap out there, get our spells down to a nice, tidy, quick cast so we can keep casting big heals out there and saving those ballers who need our help. That's right. So, juggle your mastery in haste. In the early days, when you're going just into your heroic, and especially when you're playing the baller spec I'm going to teach you about, which is the fun DPS healing spec, I want you to be looking more towards haste than mastery, because we're going to be doing out a lot of healing just by doing that kind of stuff, okay guys? That's what I want you to be focused on in your mind, and then when you get into a sort of raiding level, especially 25-man raiding, think about buffing your mastery up more and more. That's where your shields are really going to start to come into their own. They're really going to be nice and useful there. There's a lot of damage in a raid where those shields are going to be absorbed fully, and we've got a lovely little talent which is going to help us keep casting shields based on that. So, for our gemming, we want to buff our intellect. Don't be afraid to pick up a few set bonuses along the way, guys, especially in these early days where he's trying to get your haste up and you're trying to get your mastery up. Don't be afraid of that. If it's nothing special, like just raw intellect, then go ahead and gem pure intellect. No problem at all. Really is no issue. But try and focus on boosting your intellect. Don't gem spirit. But if you look at items like these legs, we've got 2 gem slots there. We can either put 2 pure intellect gems in there, giving us a total of 80 intellect, or we could put 1 red one, 1 purple one, and still get that 80 intellect and buff our spirit. If you do need to gem spirit, it's going to come in that lovely form of the purified diamond, which is going to give us that spirit in gem. Really, really nice. Moving on, that's our Reforging cover. Just if you've got crit, turn it to haste or mastery, depending on your gear level. If you're looking to start raiding, buff your mastery a little bit. Look for around 2000 haste, okay? Really, really good. Boom! Talent time! Okay, what do we take as a Disc Priest? Well, there's a couple of ways of playing it, but I'm going to play the one that I think you guys will most enjoy. Why the hell not? Because I want you to have fun on your character, because we play WoW to have fun. It's a game. So fuck you, anybody who says anything other. When Preacher's House, we have fun and we totally ball it up, and that's what it's all about. So, mental agility first of all. Reduce the mana cost of our instant cast spells by 10%. Mainly going to be affecting our power word shield. We're still going to be casting it, but it's got a little bit of a tweak to it. But it's so expensive, guys. Get that 10% mana reduction. Really good. Twin disciplines. Increase your shadow and holy spell damage and healing by 6%. So it's a flat, big 6% healing buff. Yum, yum, yum. Improved power word shields. Now this is going to bring me up to talk about power word shield. Any of you ballers who played Discipline, Discipline Priests were sought after like gold in Wrath of the Lich King because they were so amazing for our friend the Lich King. Lich King had a little spell called Infest, which was completely nullified by a Disc Priest power word shield. So Disc Priests were everywhere, left and right, spamming those bubbles on the whole raid. Is it still the same, Preacher Man? No, 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 no. Power word shield has a 1 second cooldown with our talents. Power word shield costs a ton of mana. That's a lot of mana, considering that you might be spamming that on a lot of people. Look at this, we start spamming that, look at our mana just disappear very, very quickly. Okay, so we can no longer just spam power word shield mindlessly. We're going to be very fast. So, power word shield is still, though, enormously powerful. Enormously powerful. In my spell power, that's going to give me a nice big shield for 24,000 without getting any of my extra healing buffs up at all. Okay, so power shield is still really, really good. So we need to bear that in mind. Power shield is amazing, but it's expensive. But that can be offset by something we do later on. So just bear that in mind for now. I just want you to have in the back of your mind. We take improved power shield because power shield is awesome. It's still a great spell, but it's very expensive. Evangelism. This is the beginnings of our fun atonement spec, as it's called. We're going to get to atonement later, but let's read what this does. When you cast Smite or Holy Fire, this you can gain Evangelism, and that stacks up to 5 times. Evangelism increases the damage done by your Smite and Holy Fire, good, because that's what we were casting to get Evangelism in the first place, by 4%, and reduce the mana cost of those spells by 6%, stacking 5 times. That's pretty good, isn't it? That means our DPS spells, and you're thinking, Preach, I'm a healer, why am I DPSing? We'll get to that shortly, my friends, don't you worry. But that's going to reduce the mana cost by a good 30% overall. That's nice and cheap DPS spells, and then we get the awesome talent of the day, Archangel, which gives us Wings of Justice. Consumes all your Evangelism effects, that 5 stack is going to be used up. Instant restores 1% of your total mana per stack, so if you've got 5 stacks, you get 5% of our total mana, not base mana, 5% of back. And increase your healing done by 3%. Remember, and that's for every single stack, so it's a big, fat healing buff. Healing, yum, yum, yum. So bear that in mind, when we use our Archangel, we're going to get our mana back. We're going to get this buff for 18 seconds, it's got a 30-second cooldown, which means we should pretty much be spamming Archangel as a Shadow Priest would. Okay, we're almost a Holy Shadow Priest. Does that make sense? A Holy Shadow Priest. That's what I'm going to say. Balls to you if you disagree. Soul Warding. Reduce the cooldown of your Power Word Shield ability by 2 per second. Still bearing in mind, Power Word Shield, awesome spell, costs a lot of mana. Renewed Hope. Increase the critical effect chance of your Flash Heal, Great Heal, and Penance spells by 10% on targets affected by your Weakened Soul, or Blessed with Your Grace. I absolutely love that. Let me say that in a very nice British way. Blessed with Your Grace. I absolutely love that. Isn't that awesome? So good. But that's where you can see crit has been massively devalued already by that one little talent. Those 2 little talent points put in there as just massively devalued crit because we just got a flat 10% buff to it. We then get our first major cooldown, which is Power Infusion. Power Infusion used to be, back in the day, Disciplined Priests would be chased to the ends of the earth by every caster in the raid and tried to be best friends. Disciplined Priests noticed very quickly when they joined the raid that every caster in the group was their best friend forever. That's because of this buff called Power Infusion, which essentially in the past was always given to the DPSs. That's all it does. Infuses the target with power. Instantly sounds good, doesn't it? I don't care what it does. Gives me power. Great. I want it. Increase your spell casting speed by 20% and reduce the mana cost of all spells by 20% as well. Ooh! Basically, we're after that for our 20% haste and 20% mana reduction. Yeah. You know what you can tell a DPSer who wants your Power Infusion? Go to hell. It's mine. That's right, Disc Priests. Disc Priests world, unite and tell those casters to get lost unless it's absolutely necessary to give that to a caster for some specific burn phase. It's yours, my friends, because it also works well with what we're going to be doing next, which is Atonement. When you deal damage with a Smite or Holy Fire, you instantly heal a nearby low heal Oh, let me start again. When you deal damage with Smite or Holy Fire, you instantly heal a nearby low health friendly target within 15 yards from the enemy target equal to a percentage of the damage dealt. What does that mean? We DPS a mob, everybody within 15 yards of it who needs the heal most will get it. So we're actually DPS healing within 15 yards. That is amazing, guys. So our DPS, our Holy Fires, which are now really cheap due to Evangelism, can give us mana back through Archangel, can be buffed by 20% through Power Infusion and have the mana cost reduced, is actually healing people. Pretty good, guys, and this is what's going to make it a lot of fun when we jump into our heroics. We're going to be DPSing, as that's right, long gone are the days where we would look at the healer DPSing and say, you should be healing the tank. I am healing the tank, bro. I'm a baller. Leave me to it. Yeah. Inner Focus, our next big cooldown. Reduce the mana cost of your next Flash Heal, Binding Heal, Great Heal, or Prayer Heal by 100%, and the crit chances increased by 25%. 45-second cooldown. Very low cooldown, my friends. Very, very low cooldown. So if we need to throw out a big Prayer of Healing, usually costs a lot of mana, or a Flash Heal in an emergency, go ahead and Inner Focus it. Inner Focus that bad boy, get a big fat crit on it, again reducing the value of crit on our items, and get the free cost of it. A Flash Heal for free? Look how much Flash Heal costs. My god. And it crits. What can you say? But if we popped an Inner Focus on that, we get a 25% extra chance for it to crit, and plus it's free. We don't have that mana cost. Yeah, all good. We go then into the Rapture. Rapture is where it gets a little bit tricky, guys. And you raiding Disc Priests are going to be loving Rapture, whereas heroic Disc Priests are not going to be loving Rapture too much. When your powered shield is completely absorbed or dispelled, you're instantly energized with 77% of your total mana. This effect can only occur once every 12 seconds. So as we said before, I want you to bear in mind that we said powered shield is very expensive. But if you powered shield somebody who is definitely going to take that damage, tanks, then we're going to get a load of mana back on top of it. So you need to be thinking about your powered shield. Think about it. Remember, this effect can only occur once every 12 seconds, so just spamming everybody with powered shield is not going to get you loads of Rapture procs like it used to. Rapture has changed. Still, we're still going to get 7% of our total mana back, and this is going to give us all that good stuff on the tank. Really good. Look at Rapture. Borrowed Time grants 14% spell haste for your next spell after casting Powered Shield. What are you getting from this, guys? Is Blizzard wants you to cast Powered Shield. Yes, they've made it expensive, but they've made it expensive with some trickery to make it inexpensive if used correctly. They want you to be using it. They want you to get 14% spell haste, because 14% spell haste is awesome. Of course it is. And then with Rapture, if you put it on a tank, you're going to be happy, happy days. Really good. So we're going to Divine Aegis. Critical heals and all heals from Prayer of Healing create a protective shield on the target, absorbing 30% of the amount healed. You mix that with an Inner Focus Prayer of Healing, you're going to get some big, fat absorbs. And what do we say about our mastery? It's not just powered shield, it's all these absorb effects are buffed. Okay, so bear that in mind. Our big cooldown, Pain Suppression, instantly reduces a friendly target's threat by 5% and reduces all damage they take by 40%. We don't have the Guardian Angel as holy, we have Pain Suppression, which is equally as good in my opinion. Guardian Angel means the target must die to get a full effect of it. We still get the extra healing, but if we pop Pain Suppression just before a big hit, 40% reduced damage is lovely. It's like a shield wall on our command. Really good. Tanks love Pain Suppression. Great stuff. Train of Thought. Oh yes, Train of Thought. You have a 100% chance when you heal with Great Heal to reduce the cooldown of your Inner Focus by 5 seconds. Pretty good. Pretty good. You're 100% chance when you smite to reduce the cooldown of your penance spell. So now we're getting reduced cooldown on our Inner Focus. Great Heal we're not going to be using too much really. In raids, yeah, but in our heroics, not really. But we're certainly going to be smiting away and getting some big penance off. Penance heals for loads, man. Look at penance here. This is without any buffs. I'm looking at 12k crits. Yes, son. And we get the old Divine Aegis. Really good. You're going to be, what you need to realise as a Disc Priest is you're going to be kicking out lots of absorption from your normal heals. You need to bear that in mind, exactly how much healing you put out. It might not seem like a lot, it is. Grace. This is where we bless people with our grace. Your Flash Heal, Great Heal, Heal and Penance spells bless the target with grace, increasing all healing received from the priest by 8%. This will stack 3 times, so if we are tank healing, especially with our Great Heal and our Penance and all that good stuff, they're going to take so much more healing. Oh, so good. And our big final cooldown, Power Barrier, the Booby Shield as it's known throughout the world. Boobies! Yeah! Stick that under there. Power Barrier. Summons a holy barrier on the target location that reduces all damage done to friendly targets by 25% and increase the healing received by 10%. While within the barrier, spellcasting will not be interrupted. Awesome spell, guys. Power Barrier is so good, but predict it. It needs to be up for it to do its thing. No good using it after people have taken that big damage. The only points we're going to take over in the other trees: Empowered Healing, a nice big buff to 15% to our main healing spells, and Divine Fury, reduce the casting time of your Smite, Holy Fire, Heal, and Great Heal spells by half a second. Why? Because we're going to be smiting a hell of a lot. So what are we going to be doing, guys? We're going to be using our Power Word Shield. We're certainly going to be using our Penance. We've got all sorts of cooldowns, and in between that we're going to be smiting, we're going to be holy firing, and all that good stuff. Okay, guys, you see that? See the way the healing's coming through? 10k, 10k, and just spamming it, and also stacking our Evangelism up. Finally, looking at Glyphs. What up, Glyphs? Very easy to pick the Glyphs for this, I think so anyway. Glyph of Prayer Healing, we're still going to be doing that for our AoE healing spell. We haven't got Circular Healing anymore, it's going to be Glyph of Prayer Healing. Get your Glyph of Penance, reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds, because as I said, Penance is really good, especially when you start to benefit from all the extra healing spells. Penance is awesome. And Glyph of Power Barrier, increase the healing received while under it by 10%. You read that in the tooltip. Fantastic. If you have got to put people under the barrier, that means they're going to be taking damage, so now you can heal them much easier. And the final Glyph of Importance for me is Glyph of Divine Accuracy. Increase your chance to hit with your Smite and Holy Fire spells by 18%. It means we don't need spell hit and we can do our stuff. Okay, that's why we need it. So I'm going to jump into Heroic now and do some demonstrations for you. Alright, guys?